Hopping in, again, to some of the features and functionality of OBIEE 11g, I mentioned the Integrated Analytics Foundation. So a key piece to the technology is there's a single enterprise information model that can be leveraged and accessed by a variety of different ways of interacting with information. So scorecards use the same information model as an answers query or as an interactive dashboard or as that geospatial intelligence. Everything really kind of goes back and utilizes that single enterprise information model. Also want to point out that Oracle provides technologies, this is really a big platform release for them, which we can build out custom applications, but this is also going to be the technology that is utilized for Oracle's pre-built analytic applications. So with their ERP applications, CRM applications, industry applications, and their EPM applications. So finance analytics, HR analytics, their planning application, and integrating essays for those models that you may build out. So it's all going to be integrated and working together. One last point I want to make on the integration of the Analytics Foundation is many times BICG will work with our customers and we'll talk a little bit about all the various different tools, BI or analytics tools that they may have inside their organization. And sometimes there's a need for multiple tools depending upon the different types of things that we need to provide in our solutions. On average, most customers have roughly 5 different analytical tools in their organization, which can ultimately be expensive as well as confusing to the end users and to the development teams. I truly believe with the new release of OBIEE 11g that for the most part your analytical and reporting needs can be met with this new version of the release, whether it be your operational analytics, your management reporting, or your enterprise reporting. And so what I've got popped up here is a tool matrix that many times we help our customers build out, just kind of showing that the recommended tool across the board could be OBIEE 11g, ultimately lowering your total cost of ownership, meeting your internal strategic objectives on standardization, and ultimately simplifying the end user experience. On that note, I'm going to hand it over to Christian Screen, who's going to talk to us about performance management integration.
Thank you, Amy. Hi, everyone. My name is Christian Screen. I'm one of the solution engineers here with the BI Consulting Group. And as Amy mentioned, the OBIEE 11g release it's really a game-changing software suite. It's a complete end-to-end solution. And one of the ways Oracle BI has accomplished that is through its integration with performance management. And so when we start talking about the performance management integration, it kind of helps us to take a real quick look back at what OBIEE 10g offered. And really one of the main points there with the EPM integration was Essbase. Yes, we could point to it, we could leverage it as a source, but there were things that kind of left us wanting. And so, of course, it was available. It had limited support for MDX and actually querying the cube. It kind of operated like it was another relational data source. And for those of us that are familiar with the Hyperion tools, we use Hyperion Essbase for that multidimensional technology and that intuitiveness. So when we look at 11g, Oracle's really come to the rescue on this one. They've done a tremendous job working with the tool, adding the OLAP interface that we've come to love with the Hyperion tools. And the biggest thing that's probably on the tip of everyone's tongues is the hierarchy solution they've come up with to kind of solve the ragged and jagged hierarchy problem that existed when trying to integrate Essbase with OBIEE 10g. A couple of the other neat things that they've done in this version is the ability to utilize your UDAs, so your user-defined attributes, as well as the addition of alias tables Now, there was some functionality in 10G for alias tables, but nothing like what is being provided for you in 11G. And if we look into it a little bit more, Amy showed a real quick view of the graphic user interface, where you had that very beautiful drill-down tree structure that we've come to know and love from some of the Hyperion tools. What you didn't get to see, and we'll be showing on some further webinars, is that now you've got the ability to create analysis or answers, views, and reports that actually combine relational data and multidimensional data side by side in a single view, single report. And so that's what OLAP is really pushing now, is the complete integration between ROLAP, which is your relational data source, and MOLAP, which is your multidimensional data source. And with this integration, for those who know Hyperion, of course you now have that great visibility to Hyperion planning as well. Clearly your Hyperion planning application sits on an S-base cube database, so now you're definitely able to pull that data in and see it as you would through some of the other Hyperion tools that, again, you've come to know and love over the years. And Amy showed a little bit about the graphic user interface, as I just mentioned. She showed the solution that Oracle's come up with for looking at ragged and jagged hierarchies. And so here's just another screenshot to show you guys that you do have that beautiful drill down capability to get down deeper and deeper into the levels of your hierarchy to really analyze your data. And again, when you're using S-Space as a data source, or you're using a relational data source, you have that same functionality within all the views, where you're able to move your columns and really just have that feature-rich Web 2.0 capability in Oracle BI 11G. And I think Amy also mentioned that we now in 11G have the ability to utilize Hyperion Financial Management within OBI as a data source. And there's a couple of different ways this is being accomplished now. And one of the ways is through something called analytics links, so S-based analytic links. And this is relatively new. They had something in the past called HFM Extended Analytics, but for those of you who are familiar with that tool and maybe used it in the past, that was kind of like a huge batch process. It could take a couple of hours, and ultimately it cranked out a couple of cube models based on the HFM model. But now what we've got is something called analytic links, which really provides the data into an S-based cube for you, and it also is pretty much real time. So it's something that's really going to be valuable going forward. The next thing is just a real quick Java communication layer for HFM. And this is also a great option, but what we're doing here at BICG is we're really trying to look at both approaches, and eventually we'll come out with our recommendation and best practice around which option to select based on your environment, etc. And then finally, looking at EPM integration, just a real quick view at it. Again, what we're looking at here is a OBI dashboard presenting some HFM data. And we've modeled this in kind of the old Hyperion style, where you have your point of view selectors across the top, and again, you're able to get at your HFM data. Now, the one great thing about this release and pulling HFM data over and distributing that is that you now have all the capabilities of OBI 11G in your pocket for HFM data. So this means you're able to use the iBots, or the old iBots, which is now referred to as agents, for the bursting capability to sending out reports. You're now also able to make all this data for your HFM data actionable. So you're able to use the OBI 11G action framework, etc. So it now makes your data not only visible, but actionable.